Hi guys, amid all the ongoing conflicts and the geopolitical tension that we are witnessing either at the level of the Russian-Ukrainian conflicts, the Middle Eastern conflicts, or other conflicts in the world, armed were they or not, the FIFA World Cup continues, and I am here taking a break or so to speak about the next level of the tournament, which is the highest one because we're getting to the quarterfinals after the last 16 wrapped up the other day. And at this point of the tournament, it's really hard to forecast which is the better team because, like I said, all the teams have really a top level, and you cannot get to this point of the tournament if you are not a great team. So, starting first of all with the team that have been eliminated during the last 16 round, in ninth position in this tournament comes Mexico. I've already explained on a post on social media lately the curse that is ongoing for L3. I mean, one of the most regular team when it comes to the top of 16. Definitely not when it comes to the top 8. Mexico has reached that phase only at home, but not in this edition in 1970 and 1986. And a lot is to review after the game against England with the new coach Rafa Marquez now. Colombia comes at 10. Again, here also another representative of Latin America, of the Merconorte region, that has shown in no complex. Of course, Colombia's best appearance remains 2014 when they reached the quarterfinals, and once again there were a few things that had to be improved for the team in this edition. I do believe that the generation of James Rodriguez, of Quintero, has reached maybe the end because those players have been around with the Colombia and the Cafeteros for a while, and maybe it's time to look forward right now with a fresh perspective. 11th place, Brazil, very disappointing. Here again, we are mentioning another giant of Latin America, by far in history the best team when it comes to the whole history of the FIFA World Cup. But like Germany, right now, Brazilian football is in a very tough situation. It's even the first time that Brazil is out of the top 10, if I may, ever since 1966. The game against Norway has just confirmed the bad shape of the Seleção and the fact that the Jogo Benito is only a myth right now, and many things has to be seen, especially that the gap is not the same right now between Europe and South America when it comes to so many aspects, because before you used to have the Seleção with so many players of the Brazilian Serie A. Now the Brazilian player go to Europe in order to find a better career. They are formed in a structure of play that do not allow them to express, I do believe, the beauty of the samba football that used to exist before. Brazil did so many amazing feats at the World Cup, sometimes just with players of the Brazilian Serie A. So this is also a point to highlight. The big countries of Latin America that I mentioned, Mexico, Colombia, and Brazil, out of the FIFA World Cup. Always in the Americas in 12th position. The second host, as I invokes Mexico to get eliminated from the tournament, the United States. A lot of things to question, especially following the performance against Belgium that have shown so many flaws, especially in terms of defensive mistakes that do not happen in this level of the tournament, the last 16. But it reflects a lot of things that were at the level of the United States national team before the beginning of the tournament. Sure, we had the group stage, the last 32 round, things that could have clouded a little bit that preparation that I always suspected. Since 2025, like I said, with all the tough results that the United States had. But as I mentioned also on another post, it's time to analyze, assess, and start over within the next 4 year cycle within the vision of the 2030 FIFA World Cup. 13th, Portugal, unfortunately for the friends of Cristiano, they never really showed a concrete perspective during this tournament. It's very sad to see Portugal exiting this way. No game was convincing. I do believe they won against Uzbekistan 5-0, yes, but like I said, I mean, in the tough moments to show that the team was ready to go further and win the World Cup or be one of the contenders was really far from happening on the pitch, given all the performances that we have seen. Again, as I said, Cristiano Ronaldo could stick around. We know that El Hadari played the World Cup at 45. Even if he's a super sub within the perspective of the UEFA Euro 2028 and the FIFA World Cup 2030, his contribution to the team could always be an added value for the Portuguese side. In 14th place, the third host that got also eliminated, Canada, which concludes therefore the participation of the CONCACAF this finals. The last time a CONCACAF team reached the quarterfinals was with Costa Rica in 2014. CONCACAF has a lot to work on if they want to go further in this type of competition where only the top level stays. And like I said before, between good and great there is a universe to improve. But anyways, hats off to Canada because it was the first time in the last 16 and they fought bravely throughout the whole tournament. 15th, hard luck to Egypt. The Pharaohs really presented the game of their lives against Argentina. It's true that unfortunately the end of the game has shown once again the febrility of the African soccer culture, because when you are at that point of the game with that lead, you have to learn how to maintain the pressure in order to keep leading on the score. Argentina, with all its experience, nailed it, and the road continues for La Albiceleste. But hard luck to Egypt. Like I said, the last time Egypt was in the top 16 of the FIFA World Cup was 92 years ago in Italy in 1934, where they qualified, and therefore the round of 16 was the first round of the competition back then. And this time it's even better because they played past rounds in the finals before getting here, and a lot to reflect upon given this participation of Egypt. Finally, 16th, Paraguay that got eliminated after a very, very tough game against France. In another perspective, if I may, we've seen that Mbappe scored a penalty. There is always combativity and the physical aspect when you play this type of teams from South America, especially when we speak about Paraguay that have that specificity. One of the things that Paraguay could share during this tournament is that they have scored their first goal in a knockout phase, and that happened though in the previous round, the last 32. So this is for the teams that got eliminated in the last 16. Now we stay with the top 8, the teams that are basically going to feature starting today with the quarterfinals, and we start with the shock between France and Morocco in Foxborough. This is very hard to forecast at this point, a remake of the semi-final of 2022, and like I said, the level between both teams is so close, and it's very great thriller to watch. Again, like I said, from this point it's hard even for me to make basically a forecast because of the proximity of level between all the remaining teams. Spain against Belgium tomorrow, here also tough. Both teams met before many times in the World Cup. At the quarterfinal stage they met, as a matter of fact, in 1986 when Belgium nailed it on penalties back then. So the game in Inglewood will also reflect the level of two different styles of football, Benelux versus the Iberian Peninsula. Of course, the dream of Spain is to continue their quest in order to win the second star on their jersey. For Norway against England, like I said, here also Norway is like Belgium, a very very strong outsider trying to make it to the semi-final for the first time after they did it to the quarterfinals for the first time. And England is a tough opposition here in the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. England always find a lot of competition when they face Scandinavian sides. It's another classic of Europe to follow here. And finally, Argentina in Kansas City will face Switzerland. It is true that ever since the beginning of the knockout phase, with the last 32 against Cape Verde and the last 16 against Egypt, Argentina nailed it after some very tough scenarios that happened. Once again, for Messi and his teammates, there is a chance here to continue this quest. Switzerland reached the quarterfinals for the first time in 72 years. The last times it was led by Hugi, and they played against Austria in 1954 in a legendary game that ended up 7-5 to Austria, and Hugi scored a hat-trick at that time for Switzerland. Of course, if they qualify to the semi-final, it will be the first time in the history. France, Argentina in the all-time table of the FIFA World Cup are really catching up on Italy, another giant of history that is, like Brazil and Germany, not reflecting its glorious past. As a matter of fact, Argentina may have one title less than Italy, but it is far ahead when it comes to the points in the all-time table. France actually is overpassing Italy in terms of goals scored by now. They are still behind them in terms of points, but the attack of France is largely superior to Italy in an all-time context. So we stay tuned with this decisive moment of the tournament, and we will catch up very soon with the heat of the North American stadiums.